Have you ever wondered what happens after we die? This question, wrapped in mystery and shrouded in the unknown, has captivated the human imagination for millennia. From the bustling streets of ancient cities to the quiet corners of modern-day life, the notion of life after death bridges generations and geographies. It's a topic that not only piques our curiosity, but also stirs a deep, sometimes unsettling sense of wonder. Today, we delve into the diverse beliefs and theories that attempt to answer this profound question. First, let's explore the views from the world's major religions. In Christianity, the concept of an afterlife is distinctly framed around the ideas of heaven and hell. Believers often see life on earth as a journey toward a final judgment, where one's actions and faith determine whether they ascend to heaven, an eternal paradise of peace and presence with God, or descend into hell, a place of everlasting punishment and separation from divine love. Shifting to the east, Hinduism presents a complex view of life after death with the belief in reincarnation. Here, the soul, or Atman, is not bound to a single life. Instead, it is reborn in a cycle known as samsara. The nature of each rebirth is influenced by karma, the sum of a person's actions and their ethical implications. This cycle continues until one achieves moksha, or liberation from the cycle of rebirth, which is the ultimate spiritual goal. Islam, meanwhile, teaches the resurrection of the body and soul. On the day of judgment, every individual will be resurrected and held accountable for their deeds. Those who have lived righteously may be granted entry into paradise, a place of joy and abundance, whereas those who have transgressed may face punishment in hell. In Buddhism, the afterlife also involves a form of rebirth, which is less about the soul and more about a continuous stream of consciousness. This rebirth occurs within the cycle of samsara, driven by karma. The ultimate goal in Buddhism is to escape this cycle by achieving nirvana, a state of liberation and freedom from suffering. These beliefs not only offer insights into the afterlife but also shape the moral framework of millions. Continuing our journey through religious beliefs, let's delve into the ancient Egyptian perspective on what happens after death. The Egyptians believed in a meticulous journey through the underworld, guided by the Book of the Dead. This sacred text provided spells, prayers, and incantations to help the deceased navigate the challenges of the afterlife, including the weighing of the heart against the feather of Ma'at. If the heart was light, it indicated purity, and granted passage to the paradisiacal field of reeds. Shifting to the cold north, the Norse viewed the afterlife as a grand hall called Valhalla, presided over by Odin. Warriors fallen in battle were chosen by the Valkyries to join this majestic realm. Here they feasted and fought until the end of days, preparing for the great battles of Ragnarok. This belief underscored the Norse values of bravery and honor in combat, reflecting a culture deeply intertwined with warfare and heroism. Meanwhile, across various indigenous cultures, the spirit world is a central theme, woven into the fabric of their daily and spiritual lives. For many indigenous peoples, life and the afterlife are a continuous cycle, with ancestors playing an active role in guiding and protecting the living. Rituals and ceremonies are often conducted to honor these spirits, ensuring harmony between the physical and spiritual worlds. From the pyramids of Egypt to the icy realms of Norse myths, human hope and fear of the afterlife paint a vivid picture across cultures. Now let's pivot to what science has to say about life after death. In the world of empirical evidence and observable phenomena, the scientific community generally maintains a skeptical view of the afterlife. This skepticism is rooted in materialism, the belief that everything that exists is part of the physical world, and that any phenomena can be explained through physical processes alone. One foundational principle often discussed is the conservation of energy. It states that energy cannot be created or destroyed, it only changes forms. Some interpret this to suggest that the energy within us could continue in another form after our physical demise. However, mainstream science does not typically extend this principle to imply a conscious afterlife. Additionally, there have been notable scientific studies focusing on near-death experiences. Researchers like Dr. Sam Parnia have explored how consciousness might continue briefly after the heart stops. These studies often find that people report vivid perceptions, which suggest that the mind remains active at least for a short time after clinical death. Yet, these experiences have not conclusively supported the notion of an ongoing personal consciousness after death. It's also worth noting that the concept of consciousness itself is a rich field of scientific inquiry. Despite advances, the exact mechanisms by which consciousness arises and what happens to it after death remain largely unknown. While science often steers clear of the metaphysical, it still offers intriguing insights into what happens at death. Beyond religion and science, philosophy and spirituality provide yet another perspective. In the realm of philosophy, the concept of the soul and consciousness has long been a subject of fascination. From the ancient dialogues of Plato, who proposed the idea of an immortal soul that participates in a realm of perfect forms, to modern philosophers who delve into the consciousness with tools like phenomenology and existentialism, the philosophical quest seeks to uncover what truly constitutes our essence. Plato's vision suggested that knowledge is a form of recollection, an idea that implies our souls have existed long before our physical bodies and will continue thereafter. Transitioning to a more contemporary view, thinkers like Daniel Dennett explore consciousness through a scientific lens yet open philosophical discussions about the nature of self and the illusion of continuity. These modern discussions challenge us to consider whether our sense of self is just a narrative constructed by our brains. On the spiritual but non-religious front, there's a rich tapestry of beliefs that perceive life after death as a transformation of energy. This view doesn't attach itself to any deity, but rather embraces the concept of the soul's journey through different states of being. Here, death is not an end but a passage into another form of existence, often envisioned as a return to a universal source, or as a step in an ongoing cycle of rebirth and renewal, echoing the ancient philosophies of reincarnation found in Eastern traditions. These philosophical and spiritual views invite us to think deeply about the essence of our being and its continuity. Many individuals claim to have glimpsed what lies beyond. Let's delve into some of their stories. Imagine for a moment lying in a hospital bed, the beeping of machines syncing with the slowing beat of your heart. This was the reality for Emma, a school teacher from Vermont who experienced what she describes as a profound peace during a near-death experience. As her heart stopped, she recalls the sensation of being lifted above her body, watching doctors frantically work to revive her. Emma speaks of a warmth and a light that felt like unconditional love. Her return to the physical world was, in her own words, a return from a place more real than this one. Then there's Michael, a retired police officer from Chicago who, during a severe heart attack, encountered what he believed were the spirits of deceased relatives. They communicated not through words but through emotions, a transcendent language of the soul, conveying reassurances of love and peace. Michael's experience transformed his fear of death into a serene acceptance of life's eventual end. These stories, while deeply personal and inherently subjective, strike a common chord among many who hear them. They suggest that what awaits us after death might not just be an end, but a transition to something beyond our current understanding. Skeptics may dismiss these experiences as mere neurological blips, but for those like Emma and Michael, they provide a compelling narrative of hope and renewal. These personal accounts add a deeply human element to the discussion, blending empirical evidence with personal conviction. As we have seen, life after death remains one of humanity's greatest mysteries. Throughout this exploration, we've delved into a spectrum of beliefs and theories, each offering its unique perspective on what might lie beyond the veil of mortality. From the diverse religious views that paint the afterlife with vivid strokes of reward, punishment, or eternal peace, to the scientific community that urges caution and skepticism, preferring to anchor their understanding in observable and measurable phenomena. We've traveled through philosophical and spiritual realms where the essence of human consciousness is debated and dissected, pondering whether our spirits transcend the physical confines of this world. We also heard personal stories, poignant and powerful, that challenge the boundaries of our understanding and invite us to consider that perhaps there is more to life than what meets the eye. These narratives add a deeply human element to our inquiry, reminding us that behind every belief about the afterlife, there is a personal story filled with hope, fear, love, and the quest for meaning. As we reflect on these myriad views, consider what resonates with you. How does the mystery of life after death shape your understanding of life itself? Does it inspire fear, comfort, curiosity, or perhaps a mix of these emotions? Whatever your perspective may be, the diversity of beliefs we've explored enriches our collective human experience. It encourages us not only to seek answers, but to cherish the questions themselves. Whatever lies beyond, the journey through these beliefs reminds us of our shared quest for meaning and understanding in the face of the unknown.